For centuries, the name Assyria had terrified the ancient world. Its armies had conquered kingdoms. Its siege engines had destroyed cities. Its kings had built an empire stretching across much of the ancient Near East. But even the most powerful empire can have enemies. And eventually, Assyria had too many. The Babylonians wanted independence. The Medes were rising in the east, and together, they would launch an assault against the empire that had ruled Mesopotamia for generations. In 612 BC, the great Assyrian capital of Nineveh fell. The empire that had once seemed unstoppable was collapsing, but the fall of Assyria created something even more dangerous, a power vacuum, and one kingdom was ready to fill it: Babylon. With Assyria weakened, Babylon emerged as the dominant power of southern Mesopotamia. But Babylon was not simply another kingdom. It was one of the oldest and most important cities in the ancient world. For centuries, its name had been associated with wealth, religion, learning, and power. Now, under a new generation of rulers, Babylon was about to enter its greatest age. And at the center of that transformation stood one man, Nebuchadnezzar II. He would become one of the most famous kings of ancient Babylon, and he would turn the city into a symbol of imperial power. Under Nebuchadnezzar II, Babylon became a city unlike anything many of its visitors had ever seen. Monumental walls surrounded the city. Huge gates controlled access to its streets. Temples rose above the skyline, and the Euphrates flowed through the heart of the city. Babylon was not simply designed to defend itself. It was designed to impress. Its architecture proclaimed a message to the ancient world. Babylon had arrived. But Nebuchadnezzar was not interested only in building. He was also interested in conquest. Babylonian armies marched westward, challenging kingdoms that had once been under Assyrian influence. Babylon had inherited Assyria's position, but it would have to defend that position. Babylon's greatest weapon may not have been its army. It was the city itself. Its defenses were designed to make an attacker think twice. Massive walls surrounded the city. Defensive structures controlled its entrances, and the Euphrates provided both a water supply and a natural obstacle. From the outside, Babylon looked almost impossible to take. If an enemy attacked the walls, Babylon could defend them. If an enemy tried to starve the city, its access to water made the situation more complicated. Babylon had survived the fall of Assyria. It had become the center of a powerful empire. Why would anyone believe they could conquer it? Far to the east, another power was rising, the Persians, and at their center was a remarkable ruler, Cyrus the Great. Cyrus had built his power through a series of extraordinary victories. He defeated rival kingdoms. He expanded Persian territory, and eventually, his empire became one of the largest the ancient world had ever seen. By the middle of the 6th century BC, Cyrus controlled a vast territory stretching across much of the Near East. But one prize remained: Babylon. Babylon knew the Persians were coming, but the city's defenders had something the Assyrians had once possessed: confidence. Babylon was enormous. Its walls were formidable. Its defenders believed they could survive a siege. Inside the city, life continued. Markets remained open. Temples continued their rituals, and the people of Babylon watched from behind their defenses. Outside the city, however, Cyrus was preparing for something different. He did not need to destroy Babylon. He needed to take it. In 539 BC, Cyrus's forces confronted Babylon. And this is where the story becomes extraordinary. Later ancient accounts describe Cyrus using the Euphrates as part of his strategy to enter the city, but the exact details remain debated by historians. What we do know is that Babylon fell to the Persians in 539 BC, and unlike many ancient cities that were destroyed after conquest, Babylon was incorporated into the Persian Empire. The city had lost its independence. Its empire was finished. Babylon had fallen, not because its walls had simply been smashed apart, but because a new empire had found a way to overcome the power behind them. The fall of Babylon marked another turning point in ancient warfare. First, Assyria had dominated the Near East. Then Babylon rose from the ruins of the Assyrian Empire. And now Babylon itself had been absorbed by Persia. One empire replaced another. This was the pattern of the ancient world. Kingdoms rose, armies conquered, cities became capitals, and eventually, another army appeared on the horizon. The Persian Empire would become enormous, but even Persia would eventually face a conqueror unlike any it had seen before. Babylon did not disappear when it fell. Its buildings, temples, stories, and achievements continued to influence the civilizations that came after it. The city became part of the Persian Empire. Later, it would come under the control of Alexander the Great, and for centuries afterward, Babylon remained a powerful symbol of ancient civilization. But its greatest lesson was not about walls. It was about power. Assyria had conquered Babylon. Babylon had helped destroy Assyria. Persia conquered Babylon, and soon, another conqueror would challenge Persia itself. In less than 2 centuries, the ancient Near East had witnessed the fall of three great powers: Assyria, Babylon, and now Persia stood at the height of its power. But Persia had no idea what was coming. Across the Aegean world, a young Macedonian king was preparing an army. He would cross into Asia. He would defeat Persian armies again and again, and he would create an empire stretching farther than most people of his age could imagine. His name was Alexander. Next week, the War Files follows the man who tried to conquer the world. Assyria fell, Babylon fell, Persia was next. Which empire do you think was the hardest to defeat? Comment below.